BioBalance Healthcast, episode 144, Growth Hormones.
BioBalance Healthcast features conversations about positive aging. Your hosts are Dr. Kathy Maupin, Medical Director of BioBalance Health and a leading expert in treating symptoms of aging, and Brett Newcomb, a licensed professional counselor.
Do you remember the musical The Music Man?
Yeah,
Do you remember the opening overture?
Yeah.
Where all the salesmen are on the train and they're singing about this Professor Harold Hill who sells boys bands on credit. And then they do this whole thing about cash for the merchandise, cash for the... And the whole point of that song, the reason I mention it is...
I was going to say, how
it's
does that
about
work?
the resistance to change. Do things the way things have always been done. And there is an inherent resistance to change in most human systems. And in medicine, there is an inherent resistance to change. And so today we're going to be talking about trying to overcome the resistance to change, about the understanding and usage of growth hormones as a treatment, both for athletics and its abuse and misuse there, and as a treatment for the elderly, what's called the fragile elderly. Yeah, as a real treatment. And the political changes and manipulations that have occurred over the last 20 years as this knowledge has become more commonly available and as doctors have begun to experiment with using it and had to overcome resistance. You know, the research will tell us that in the beginning when people started to say, well, you know, the elderly might benefit from growth hormone replacement.
Well, let's talk about growth hormone.
Okay, let's talk about
that.
First of all,
for a
what is
second.
it? Maybe we should
What
define
is
our
it?
terms.
So growth hormone is a hormone from your pituitary gland, and when we are growing, it makes our bones grow, it builds our muscles, it makes us become an adult. So our highest levels are when we're children, and as we become an adult, at 20-something, it starts decreasing. And by 40, some of us notice a significant decrease in growth hormone. What that does is it decreases our muscle mass, increases our fat mass, impairs our ability to think clearly. It also makes us feel exhausted or tired, and it's an anabolic hormone, just like testosterone.
Do you think it declines in our 40s because for so many centuries that was our life expectancy at the outer limit?
We were really made to live to the end of our ability to have children. So yeah, 40. That's that, and menopause was earlier then. So 40-something was it. So as we were supposed to get old and die after we had children, and we've talked about that before.
Get off the stage and quit consuming resources.
Right. Growth hormone goes down because then we became a drag to society. Well, that doesn't happen anymore. Now as we get older, if we are healthy, we are the memory for society. We are the experience. And so many of us are using the information we gathered, and we actually benefit society. So it's not
we have
something,
all the disposable income. Those young twerps need our stuff.
They just want to inherit it.
Yeah, exactly.
We both have young people. Anyway, growth hormone is something that is vital to a healthy human being. Now, several things besides age interfere with this. Chronic illness, any chronic illness, can cause you to decrease growth hormone. And so, therefore, you get sicker during this chronic illness. If you have, if you're in the hospital for anything, even if it's an infection, your growth hormone drops.
Okay.
It's in response to your cortisol going up. That makes your growth hormone. There's lots of interactions, but basically that's all you have to remember. If you're sick or if you have an auto accident,
no matter what your age is,
your growth hormone drops, and so you become more frail when you're in the hospital for a long period of time. So that's one of the things that we notice. Also, if you have a head injury, then the pituitary gets shocked and does not make as much growth hormone. So therefore, we become frail from that, and we don't feel well, and our joy of living goes away. Quality of living goes away. So many things hinge on growth hormone. I should
0963. You can find Dr. Maupin on Twitter at Dr. Kathy Maupin and on Facebook at facebook.com/BioBalanceHealth. Find Brett Newcomb at brettnewcomb.com.